Abandoned lies the city, once so full of people. How like a widow is she, who once was great among the nations. She who was queen among the provinces has now become a slave. Bitterly she weeps at night, tears are on her cheeks. Among all her lovers there is no one to comfort her. All her friends have betrayed her, they have become her enemies. Calamity and harsh labour. Now Judah has gone into exile. She dwells among the nations. She finds no resting place. All who pursue her have overtaken her in the midst of her distress. Desolate her gateways. The roads to Zion mourn, for none comes to her appointed festivals. Her priests groan, her young women grieve, and she is in bitter anguish. Enemies have become her masters. Her foes are at ease. The Lord has brought her grief because of her many sins. Her children have gone into exile, captive before the foe. For the splendour has departed from daughter Zion. Her princes are like deer that find no pasture. In weakness they have fled before the pursuer. Gone are the treasures that were Jerusalem's, only a memory in the days of her affliction and wandering. When her people fell into enemy hands, there was no one to help her. Her enemies looked at her and laughed at her destruction. Having sinned greatly, Jerusalem has become unclean. All who honoured her despise her, for they have seen her naked. She herself groans and turns away. Ingrained filth clings to her skirts. She did not consider her future. Her fall was astounding. There was none to comfort her. Look, Lord, upon my affliction, for the enemy has triumphed. Jerusalem saw pagan nations enter her sanctuary. Those you had forbidden to enter your assembly. The enemy laid hands on all her treasures. Loud are the groans of her people as they search for bread. They barter their treasures for food to keep themselves alive. Look, Lord, and consider, for I am despised. My suffering, is it nothing to you? All who pass by, look around and see. Is any suffering like my suffering that was inflicted on me? That the Lord has brought on me in the day of his fierce anger? Nets he spread for my feet and turned me back. From on high he sent fire, sent it down into my bones. He made me desolate, faint all the day long. Over my neck hung my sins. By his hands they were woven together, bound into a yoke, and the Lord has sapped my strength. He has given me into the hands of those I cannot withstand. Perishing are my young men. He has summoned an army to crush them. The Lord has rejected all the warriors in my midst. In his winepress the Lord has trampled virgin daughter Judah. Realize that this is why I weep, and my eyes overflow with tears. No one is near to comfort me, no one to restore my spirit. My children are destitute because the enemy has prevailed. She stretches out her hand, but there is no one to comfort Zion. The Lord has decreed for Jacob that his neighbours become his foes. Jerusalem has become an unclean thing among them. The Lord is righteous, yet I rebelled against his command. Listen, all you people, look at my suffering. My young men and young women have gone into exile. Uselessly I called to my allies, but they betrayed me. My priests, my elders, perished in the city while they searched for food to keep themselves alive. View me, Lord, how distressed I am. I am in torment within and in my heart. I am disturbed, for I have been most rebellious. Outside the sword bereaves, inside there is only death. Wails and groans people have heard, but there is no one to comfort me. All of my enemies have heard of my distress. They rejoice at what you have done. May you bring the day that you have announced, so that they may become like me. Yes, let all their wickedness come before you. Deal with them as you have dealt with me. Because of all my sins, my groans are many, and my heart is